Hello once again. This is Zach, and hearing my after hours voice like this only means one thing: audio problems. Something happened with my recording from my microphone, so you'll mainly be hearing me from the other host mics. You know how it goes with new setups: 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Hopefully, you'll still be able to enjoy the show. So, enough with the chatter. Let's get to it. Bye.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Mahai Game Guys Board Gaming Podcast. I'm your host Adrian.
I'm Zach.
And I'm Jeff.
And I'm very sick.
Yeah.
But that's neither here nor there. This Wednesday episode, as all of our Wednesday episodes are, is sponsored by our awesome sponsors, Gray Fox Games. So thanks to them for their continued sponsorship.
Yeah.
So
that's gonna sound so great when trying to.
Yep. I'm real sick. I'm real sick, and it's just gonna be in the episode. It's just gonna be a thing. There's no way around it. I mentioned on the Friday stream that I was starting to feel sick, and then by the time you guys left, and I was immediately like, oh no, I'm like real sick. I'm just gonna go straight to bed. And I slept for like 8 hours, and then I woke up. I called in sick. I went back to bed, slept for like 7 hours. Got up, went downstairs, slept on the couch for like 2 hours.
Sounds like just a bunch of sleeping.
I just slept all day Saturday.
Last time I was sick, when I got bronchitis, when I was just about to be off crutches and able to go back to work, I got incredibly sick and slept like 21 hours. It was pretty great.
Would recommend again.
Would recommend.
All right there, Adrian?
Yep. Just bringing Jeff up a touch.
A tad.
Our microphones are slightly different than they used to could, so.
Yep.
So yeah.
I've been sick
Yes,
the last
you have.
couple days.
And now your mic's too far away and I can't hear you. And you don't have your headphones back on.
No, I don't. Because I didn't want them on. I hear myself just fine.
Well, you just moved closer to the mic, that's why. You were back here.
I mean, I still hear myself.
Yeah, we definitely.
People said I was crackling, and I don't want to just be coughing into the mic the whole time.
That's true.
You
should just go in the other room.
Yeah.
You're
Zach and I'll.
We'll finish it up. We wouldn't be our first time. So.
Right.
Just go lay down with Jester. Just watch some more Westworld.
I actually watched Conan when I was sleepy because I didn't want to miss Westworld while I was, sick sleeping.
Which Conan did you watch?
The only Conan that matters.
The first one?
Arnold Conan.
Yeah.
I mean, like out of the two, there are 2 movies. That's what I was asking.
Conan the
I guess there's
Destroyer.
technically a third one.
Yeah.
With
Aquaman.
Jason Momoa was Conan.
Yes.
Did not see that one.
Neither did I.
I think I may have, but I don't remember anything.
It was him without facial hair, and I was like, I'm out.
It was the first one. The first Arnold Conan.
Yes.
The Legend of Conan, I believe that one was called.
Okay.
Or I think.
Somebody on Friday asked a question about why we don't do weather anymore. So I'll do weather. It was so hot today that the cooling systems at work kept throwing alarms because they couldn't keep the machinery cool enough.
It was very hot today. I helped Anthony move this morning.
Yeah.
And
To a new place.
to his new house rental. And that was uneventful, which is good for a move.
Yes, you want moves to be smooth.
Yeah. Getting the big couch through the tiny door was a lot of pivoting was required.
That's usually what happens. What
But it
about
worked.
Going up or downstairs?
No, it's all one level.
Okay.
So
That's good.
I don't think there's a basement or anything.
Are they in a house now?
Yeah.
Yes.
House rental.
Got AC?
Where at?
Ruby Hill?
DTC somewhere down there, Mississippi, and
So further away.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's 20 minutes from his old place, but
Great.
but very much so further
Closer
away.
to his work, too, and Julie's
Yeah.
work. So.
Okay.
Yeah, they got a 2-year lease.
Nice.
It's gonna be a nice place for 2 years.
Yeah.
Until they jack that rent right up. Yeah.
You didn't damage your leg moving things.
No, Paul was there and helping because I was like, I could help a little bit, but if I tweak something, I'm going to be useless. So Paul and Ant did all of the heavy lifting, and I did the driving.
Oh, okay.
There you go. And you brought the truck.
And I brought the truck, yes.
You're like, realistically, you carried everything to the place.
Yeah.
And then they just moved it the final bit.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what about you, Zach? What exciting stuff did you do?
Just work, and then, I had to leave work early because our internet was out, and I was like, well, so now I just have to leave and not make 2 hours worth of money.
That sucks.
Yeah, but otherwise, saw Ready or Not.
Yeah, you said it was definitely worth seeing, right?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. So it's sort of, I think the genre it says it is like horror, but it's not at all.
Okay.
It's like a thriller suspense comedy sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe not comedy, but just a lot of comedic elements.
I believe the official term is splat stick.
Sure, yeah.
That's what all the Evil Dead movies are
Okay,
called.
no, then yes.
Yeah.
That'll be that.
Sam Raimi came up with that, I think.
Oh, nice. And so it's all about like a woman getting married into a family, and then the family basically wants to kill her. So then it's like it's essentially whatever. It starts as like a game of hide and seek, and she's like, oh, and then they like are bringing guns and crossbows and shit, and so it's about that.
Do they ever explain like why the family's doing that?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's a big plot point. Yes.
Oh, okay.
I just don't want to say it. So.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can tell you how it ends if that's what you're wanting me to do.
No. That's fair.
But no, I enjoyed it. There were a lot of good performances. Very bloody. Like, very bloody.
Good.
Yeah. It was, like I said, it was funny. Paula and I enjoyed ourselves.
Cool.
7, at least.
Right on.
Solid 7.
Solid 7. Definitely going to die on this stream.
Yeah.
Man cold is going to kill me.
That'll happen.
Yeah.
So nothing really exciting. We did our Friday Q&A live stream. Thanks for the couple people who tuned in live.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Asked us questions live. But we answered a whole bunch from BGG and stuff, so that was a lot of fun.
Couple from the Twitch chat.
Yep. But otherwise, not a whole lot going on this week. So I think we can probably talk about games we played, yeah?
Sooner or later, we'll actually play board games on this board game podcast.
What has everybody been playing? Jeff, we'll save you for last because you've not really been playing much.
Nope, wasn't a game night.
No. Zach, what about you? What have you been playing?
So the new game that I tried out
was Reef.
Yes.
Basically, you're sort of more or less building coral reefs, and you're trying to score points because like every card has like 2 parts on it. It has the pieces that you get, then scoring card on it. So or like whatever scoring condition it has on it. So when you on your turn, you either draw a card or you play a card, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you play a card, you get those 2 pieces, and then you put them on your 4x4 grid, and then you do whatever the scoring condition on the bottom. And it's usually not related to whatever, like, so it's like 2 green pieces you can put down. Then it's like, hey, now it's, we'll score on reds or yellows. So you have some, timing and planning that you have to do in order to be like, to get the most out of the scoring. And you basically just keep going around until one of the colors runs out. There are, some of the cards have a lot harder scoring conditions, but they're usually worth more. And so if you can get them line up right, then you can get like 18 points or $18 out of it. But some of them are just like for every green that you have available, then it's like, $1 or, $1. And when you stack them, you basically are looking at it from a top-down perspective. So if you cover up a yellow with a red, that yellow doesn't matter. But yeah, that's basically it. And you just go until you run out of pieces, and then you finish out the round, and then whoever has the most points wins.
Right on.
It's one of those games where you're like, all right, I've now played that game. It is the game, and I mean, it was fine, but it was nothing mind-blowing or anything about it.
Okay.
It was
from the same guy that does all the Century Spice Road games and stuff.
Okay.
Spectre Ops, I think. I mean,
who
I said that in a questioning manner, but that is exactly
okay. Then yeah, definitely don't say that in a questioning manner if you know what it is.
Well, was it Spectre Ops Broken Covenant?
Okay, is that an expansion?
I guess so. Yeah.
Gotcha. But yeah, that was basically it for Reef. Played some Cribbage with Adrian. That went well.
You said that in a questioning manner, Zach.
I feel like you did. I know I won that one barely, but I feel like you lost, and Allison was like, it was very far distant last. And
Are you sure? I think I won. I think I actually did win.
I don't think you did.
I don't know.
No, I was gonna win because it was my crib and you pegged out.
Yeah.
I would have won on my crib.
On your crib, had I not scored anything for my hand, you're right. Because I was gonna peg first because it was your crib. That's. So no, you weren't gonna win. But no, that one was like it was very surprising how like we had. I think I was doing really well, and then no, none of us were doing well. That's
No,
what it was.
we were all playing.
We were
real
all
bad.
bad, and that's the only reason you were in contention is that just everybody's hands always sucked.
I pegged like 16 points in a round.
Was
It
it?
wasn't quite that
I
high,
think
but it was a
10.
lot.
I think you had 10 from a round. Which was,
No, I had I got 10 at one time because I
think
did.
you got-
I did the third
You got
2
8.
for 31.
technically, it wasn't at one time. But you just scored them all the same. But
Yes, because one of the things was 8, and
Yeah.
then I also got 2 for hitting 31.
um,
But over that entire pegging, I think I got like 16.
I don't remember the exact. I feel like that's high, but that
There were
was-
2 triples in that one.
But yeah, that went well.
Yes.
I gave you that anxiety that I always like to give people when we play cribbage.
Yes, it's the worst.
And then I also played a new scenario today of the Mansions of Madness 2nd edition. I think it was the Hidden Depths one, which introduces you're on a ship, and
Okay.
I think it was from Horrific Journeys, which is the big expansion.
The train,
The train-
plane,
yes,
zeppelins, and
yes,
not
I believe-
automobiles.
Yeah, I believe it was that one.
Yeah, because I remember them being double-sided with the boat stuff
Yes.
on there.
And this one involved deep ones, and there were one of the people that were playing were could be a deep one hybrid, so sort of a trader
Ah.
mechanic in there because you were trying to rescue people and get them onto a lifeboat, but you didn't want the deep ones to sneak aboard, and so you had to find out which one of us were the was a deep one if we were. And then also find the one deep one that was just one of the people out on the board, not let them on the.
Okay.
It was surprisingly, none of us went insane, even though we should have at many points. It's a sinking ship, so there's water everywhere. So it slowly sinks into everything. And we ended up losing, because, well, Allison was the deep one, which Mike and I were pretty sure of because it'll give you choices. It'll be like, hey, the person, I think she was Jenny Barnes. Jenny Barnes, look at this and decide something, but only you can see what you decide.
Okay.
So it's like, oh, these people are coming to help, or these people are coming to go look for people. You can either tell them to just leave and get on the lifeboat. They can look for more people, or you can intentionally misdirect them and then make sure that they die. And then it's like,
Oh,
the person chooses it, and then later you'll see if they lived or died, and you can sort of be like, but it was, I enjoyed it. I liked it. Mike and I misunderstood something at the very end. We could have won had we figured out which one of the people were the dead one, or a deep one's hybrid, and then chosen it, but we misunderstood it, and we thought we had to kick Allison out, which we handcuffed her, and then we're like, okay, well, does this mean that we're good? And then afterwards, it's like, hey, now you have to choose one of the people to say it's a deep one, and you kick them off the boat. And we're like, oh, too late now. Yeah. So we lost that one, but it was enjoyable. So we had one round where everybody tried to hit just a single hit on. We did it 6 times, and we all lost.
Oof.
Really.
wow.
And then a big deep one came and fucked up our shit.
Big deep one.
Hunting deep one, I think it was called, and it's
Okay.
just like a deep one on like super steroids.
Super steroids. Yeah. Okay. What was it? What was it from the boys?
I haven't
Complex
seen it, so I
V
don't
or
Compound V.
Compound V?
Yeah.
Deep one.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's like superhero heroin,
Yeah.
Okay.
but it's like heroin, but it's also like steroids.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Is it heroin like mellow you out?
Yeah, but this is like steroids that make you super stronger than you were before.
So is it like crack and
No, it's definitely more like
Steroids?
heroin.
okay. Sure.
You just have to actually watch the show.
Yeah.
Apparently.
You're sick. You should be watching The Boys.
Yeah.
Well, I've got 3 days coming up.
Well, there you go. That's-
No work and being sick.
All right, then I don't know what you're gonna watch.
And I solved the audio issues.
Now you just have to
so
get it on YouTube.
Now you have to get on YouTube.
That's easy.
Well,
I was
I guess-
almost there yesterday.
Okay.
You haven't figured it out yet.
Oh, I figured it out. I just didn't finish doing what I needed to do to get it on there.
Okay.
Okay.
It's a process.
Process is almost done.
Process is almost done.
Okay. Well, that's it for me
Okay.
for now.
So in addition to losing to Zach at Cribbage again, because that's just the normal state of all things Cribbage with
Yep.
me.
Yeah. It's just the skill. You meant skill I have in cribbage. That's what's.
God damn it. I also played QE. I taught QE to four new players. No,
3 new players.
3 new
Well,
players.
it can't play up to 5. So
We played a 5-player
Okay.
game. But I think at least one person had played before. Maybe not. Maybe it was all 4 were new to QE. And it was Cryptid that I played later that some people had played before. But it was a bunch of fun. It was a really weird game of QE in terms of the ramp up in price. Like, it was far more dramatic than I'm used to seeing. Like, I'm used to seeing, like, things start around, like, I don't know, 1,000, and then they end up at, like, 2,000.
every time I've played it, it's always been like 5,000 or 15,000 to like.
Oh, see, that's deeper than what... Because this one we were playing, the opening bid was 125,000. And
And did you make sure people like you're like, okay, 125? That is sort of
Yes.
the stakes of the game.
yes, I was like, we could all be dicks and start bidding like $10
Yeah.
a share, but don't do that. That's fucking rude, because then
Yeah.
that person just knows they've lost all game and can't do
Exactly.
anything about it. And then that makes all of us complicit in being giant assholes. Just
9 million plus on your next one. Every auction you have, I'm winning it because I don't care. You're not getting it.
Yeah.
20 trillion.
It's a tie for first because nobody gets anything.
Hang on, I know it's my bid, but I have to keep writing zeros.
Well, all you have to do is wait for them to bid once, or do the auction once, and then somebody wins one of those bids, and then you're good. Then that person would win, and then the other people then you can get some interesting shit going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. But ultimately bids in this one ended up around like 400 to 500,000. And I didn't get any bids until they were in already like the 300 to 400,000 range. And so I ended up just barely overextending. I was 200,000 away from not having the most money, and which was like one bid. So I got 0 points. I was immediately eliminated for having spent the most.
How would you have done had you not been eliminated? Would you have won?
I was close to winning. Okay. I think I would have been in second place if I had not been eliminated.
Because there's many times I've had someone been like, I'd have won if I didn't get eliminated, and then you're like, yeah, that's why you got eliminated.
Yeah. But that was a lot of fun. I really like QE. It's easily one of my favorite auction games right now.
I agree with that.
Then we played a game of Cryptid. It was the same group, just like kind of the way game night was going. Nobody else was really open. So I was like, hey, you guys want to do Cryptid? Everybody was for it. I made sure to use the right cards this time so that we were playing the base game and not the advanced game.
Oh, was this a problem recently?
It was, yes.
Oh, yeah. Back when we were getting ready to review it, like the 2 of the games I played, I taught the basic rules, but accidentally gave people advanced clue cards.
I see.
And so some people
So
were
not
like...
recently.
No, not recently. But overall, it went really well. It was actually I think one of the only games of Cryptid I've played where nobody made a mistake, even in any of the initial setup and placement. Somebody did eventually make a mistake in that they guessed a spot, and so they guessed, and it got all the way around to me, and I was like, no, I know what your clue is 100%, and it can't be there. You shouldn't have been able to choose that spot. Because it just took me a second, and they looked, and they were like, oh yeah, you're right. What do we do now? It's like, well, I mean, I already, like, that gave me no new information. So they put their cube, and everybody else kind of got a little bit of a free hint. And that was like their punishment. It's like, now everybody else knows more information. You gave away a lot of information there.
Yeah.
And then I would have won on that next turnaround. So like they were sitting in the position you were, Jeff. And then there were the 3 people and then me. And none of them got it. And it got to me. And I was really eager because I knew everybody's things. And I was sure I knew where it was, and I picked the spot, and I was wrong. And I was wrong because I didn't triple check. One of the yes discs for somebody was in a position that it would have clued me into the fact that they were 2 away from an animal space and not 2 away from a cougar
I
space.
thought you said it was 1 away from an animal space.
Or maybe it was that, and not 2 away from a cougar space.
Okay.
And so, like, I was close.
He was wrong.
I was wrong. And then it didn't quite make it around to me.
But
I felt pretty good about having figured everybody's clues out.
you blew it.
Yep.
I did. Shot myself right in the foot. I am my own worst enemy. But that was it. That's what I played. And then the Cribbage game that Zach talked about earlier that I did not win. So I didn't win anything at game night. losing streak. 0 for 3 at game night.
He's also played Quarto too.
Yeah.
I just did not know what Quarto was.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Oh, I'm sure you've probably seen it. It's the game where, like, it's a little grid, and you have a bunch of pieces that are either squares or circles, and they're either solid or hollow, and they're either white or black.
Or in tall or short.
And tall or short. And you're trying to place them to get 4 of one common thing in a row. And you place your opponent's pieces.
Well, you choose what
they place.
You choose what they place, and so you try and make it to where they have to give you a piece to win with.
Yeah.
It's it took like maybe 10 minutes each game. So, but it's fun.
I like Quarto.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jeff, you didn't play anything board game related. However, we can immediately just transition directly into the Bloody Minute
Bloody half hour.
because you've got a lot of Blood Bowl.
Yeah.
We have a lot of Blood Bowl.
Yes.
Oh God, Zach has Blood Bowl this time too.
Yeah.
So there was a tournament this week. It was Corpse 2019. It is a slightly modified tournament rule point set where like casualties caused by like fouls and crowd surfs count for points, not just casualties caused by armor breaks and rolling a casualty roll. You can get casualties a whole bunch of different ways, and those all count for points. And then KOs also count. Like you got 1 point for every 2 knockouts that you got. Your standard, I think it's Swiss tournament style.
Sure, yeah.
I think is what has been said before. But each game you get like 60 points for winning. 60 points for winning, 30 points for tie, 10 points for loss. You get bonus points for finishing on time because all the rounds are timed. That way you're not trying to stall for the win because you actually get extra points for that, finishing on time. And so you get like a random seed. I think we had 16 coaches.
Yes.
Zach was there first because I had class in the morning, so I wasn't able to make the first round. So Zach started. And you played the legendary Tom Photos.
Yes. So I originally got asked as usual for Ant usually asks me to be the odd man out, basically to make sure that he can play in his own tournaments, right?
Because if not, Zach or Ant just has to sit there and watch everyone else play Blood Bowl the whole time.
Yeah, which would suck.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like he could make that work, but it would be, I would feel bad for that. So that's why I'm always just like, yeah, if you need that to happen, I can play.
Yeah.
And I have a passing knowledge of Blood Bowl. So
through all of these tournament appearances?
Yeah, pretty much. And so originally he was going to give me a Wood Elf team because he forgot that it was Corpse.
Ooh, that would not have been a good idea.
Yeah. And Paul basically, like when Ant told Paul he was going to give me that, Paul sort of laughed. And then when Paul went away, Ant was like, oh shit, Paul's right. And so he gave me an undead team instead.
Uh-huh.
I'm assuming a fairly basic one. Mummies.
Yeah, that's pretty much every undead team I've seen, except it had a skeleton. Normally there's no skeleton.
Skeleton was there basically to be a foul player.
Yep, dirty player, +1 move is the real reason he was there.
Exactly.
It's move 5.
Yeah. So it worked out well. So yeah, like you said, I played Tom Photos, and it seemed like everyone was more or less dwarves or chaos dwarves through all of this.
Dwarves, chaos dwarves, more chaos dwarves. There was an orc. I think there was a dark elf team. There was humans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so I played against regular dwarves, and I definitely know I made a decent amount of mistakes, and because especially because it had been a while since I played. Like an hour before when I started driving up, I like pulled up a YouTube thing. How do I play Blood Bowl again? and then like I had written what all the skills were to be like, okay, this is what this. But like I remembered some things that I didn't remember others. Like I had set up like 6 people. I won the die roll, and so I chose to get the
coin toss.
First. Yeah, well, he rolled a die. So
yeah, that's what it is though.
Gotcha. And so I chose to defend first, and he's like, all right, well, you have defense put their guys up first.
You chose to kick.
Yes. And I forgot that for defense, you only really want 3 people in the line.
Because you set up first,
Yes.
and then they can set up however they want.
Exactly. And I had like 6 people on there.
Yes.
But it didn't. It ended up like many parts of this game. It ended up working in my favor.
Yeah.
Because this was 100% one of those games where the mistakes that I was making didn't matter because the dice were in my favor the entire time.
Nuffle was on your side.
Yes. And it worked out well. Like we didn't, neither one of us scored in the first half. I basically boxed him in a corner on the sideline, and then I had two people boxing another person on the other sideline. And I was just pushing in and destroying his guys.
Yeah.
My zombies, which are the weakest guys, I want to say they got more casualties than anything.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Because you're fighting against armor 9 pretty much across the board.
Yes, the only thing that it was 8 was the Troll Slayers.
And he probably didn't have a runner, I would assume.
He had one runner.
Okay.
Yes, for taking the ball.
Yeah, he'd be armor 8.
Yes. And so that just, by the end of the first half, when, like I said, nobody had scored anything, he had 5 guys left on the field. And I had 11 guys left on the field.
Yeah.
Or no, maybe I had 10 at that point. And so second half went a lot quicker.
Yes.
Unsurprisingly.
A lot of these games ended up that way.
Yeah. Well, and it worked out well, too, because then he was kicking off to me, and I had mostly a full team, and he had half a team, so I was able to pick it up with one of my ghoul runners.
And 3 of those dudes had to start on the line.
Yes.
So 3 of the 5 of his you had in your grasp to start with.
Yeah. I was put the mummies right on the, hey, buddy, how's it going?
They are strength 5.
Yeah.
The dwarves are strength 3.
Yeah. There were multiple 3-die blocks that I was throwing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I was able to, make a path, and the ghoul runner ran straight through, and I just had him hang near the end zone for about 2 rounds while I just sort of fucked with his guys a bit.
Fouled him a bunch.
Yeah. Yes. I fouled quite often with that skeleton.
Yeah.
But even when I did, like, especially I had one where I rolled and the foul was a 10 just on the die, and I had like 4 guys around him. And he's, the dirty player, and I was like, well, I don't. And then I rolled, and then I got, I think, 11 or 12 on and I was like, I
didn't even need it.
I could have just been him by himself, and it'd been fine.
Yep.
And then he started he finally, he ended up KOing one of my skeletons, or one of my mummies, and then started doing a little bit of damage. And I was like, I have enough stuff in that KO box that I'll just score this and try and get some of them back. I didn't. At the beginning of the second half, though, we had for the kickoff, we did roll the die, and it was a throw a rock.
Throw a rock.
Yep.
Nice.
And I lost that because
that's where you roll off with D6 plus fame, and then whoever wins, their fans throw a rock at the other team, which auto breaks armor. You just straight up do a casualty roll.
Yep. And it hit one of my Wraith blitzers.
Wraiths, yeah. Your blitzer.
Yeah, my blitzer, and killed it. It was right in the middle of the entire thing. Just nailed it right in the head. And I was like, all right, well, here we go. And
did it regenerate?
No, it did not. And then after I scored, kick off again, rolled, another throw a rock. I lost that one. And then luckily it was only stunned this time, and it was just a regular skeleton. But I was like, come on. And Tom Bodos was like, I think it'll be okay for you. And so we ended up finishing like a minute after the round had ended. So we didn't get, the points for that. But I think I got 71 points overall.
Yeah.
Which was either when I gave the team over to Jeff, we were playing at the top table.
Yes.
And so I was like, all right, Jeff, it's up to you to continue the trend. Now enjoy playing Paul.
Paul brought the most broken team in the entire thing. So the skills in this rule set, you could give people like up to 3 skills or unlimited skills. I don't remember exactly what it was, but 3 skills at least. You just had to pay for them with money. And he gave 2 Chaos Dwarf Blitzers, Claw, Mighty Blow, and Pile-On. What that is, Pile-On has been, I do heavy air quotes, removed from the game in the 2016 rule set. What Pile-On is, it lets you put your character that is attacking, if they knock someone down, when they do the armor, they can go face up to re-roll the armor roll, which means they just go down on the ground. Or if they break the armor and go into the injury, they can go face up to re-roll the injury roll. That, I think, is the literally only way in all of Blood Bowl to get re-rolls on injury rolls or armor rolls, because you can't use a team re-roll on those things. One of the rumors / I don't know, factoids out there is one of the designers of the 2016 rule set got destroyed by Pylon and in a tournament and was
like, fuck this.
Yeah, fuck this. It's not coming. It's not going to be in there. So Paul took the most casualty causing combination, which is Claw, and Mighty Blow. Claw turns any armor that's more than 7 into 7. If your armor 8, 9, or 10, it's 7. And then he has Mighty Blow, which means all he has to do is roll a 7 and he breaks any armor in the game. And he can do that on a reroll. Then, which he will most likely roll a 7 or more, because it is the most common, he then can reroll the injury roll. So he was just absolutely wiping the floor top to bottom. I survived the first half. It was fairly uneventful. I broke his armor like 8 times. I got stuns across the board. I think I rolled an 8 for a KO, but all dwarves are thick-skulled, so fucking just counts as a stun.
Yeah, you need a 9+ for that.
Yeah. I got one of his hobgoblins on a surf casualty, and then on the turn 8 of the first half, I got one of his bull centaurs out on a foul, which he was complaining about. Which, fuck you, it was like a +4.
Right.
Paul complaining?
Yeah.
What? No.
Yeah, everything I did was totally the worst thing in the universe, except his 2-palm fucking Mighty Blow Claw pylon bullshit. Second half went way worse. Got a ton of knockouts. Everything regenerated. I made 5 regen rolls that game, but that just puts them into reserve instead of the casualty box. If no one scores or a kickoff doesn't happen, it doesn't matter.
Right.
They're just still on the outside. And then I think he had like 4 KOs on top of that. It was a bad second half. The dice weren't there for me in any way, shape, or form. And then
sounds like I took the entire luck of
Yeah.
the dice for the entire game.
I was breaking them, and he was like, "You're breaking armor 9." I was like, "Fuck off! I'm breaking armor 9 and stunning you." It's like you've taken no damage from me breaking your armor.
Yeah, that's pretty shitty.
Yeah. So I lost that one. I think it was 1-0. Went on to my last game. Paul went to the top table again, of course. He played Mike and his orcs. The fastest game of Blood Bowl I've ever seen in my life. They were done in less than 40 minutes.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Maybe not even. Like,
what made it so quick?
He just absolutely destroyed him. His casualty box was just bloated. He just murdered his whole team. And on top of that, he said it was like, I wasn't even using Claw or Mighty Blow. I was just rolling 10s. Like, it wasn't even his bullshit. It was just rolling extremely well. So spoiler alert, Paul won the whole tournament during that game. But while I was doing that, I was playing a dwarf team, which went, pretty about the same as the second game. And first half went okay. Did a casualty here or there, and then
basically once I got back to bring Ant's thing, I was like, "Oh, Jeff's playing our team. Let's see how it's going." And
like turn 2, the dirty player skeleton went and fouled himself out. So once again, he wasn't very useful. And then his dwarf team just sort of started rolling well and got some KOs, got some casualties. I got a couple casualties on him, but still ended up not being able to score on my first receive. I kicked to him, and then on the first turn of the second half, he got KO, stun on my 3 guys that were on the line. And I came back and did like a casualty KO or something like that and sort of evened it up. But about halfway through the half, it was just blue, and then I was off the pitch. So, yeah. So win, loss. It was also my first time playing Undead. So I had that going for me.
Hooray. I mean, Zach did fine with him.
Yeah, it's the first time I'm playing for me.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I took any good luck for any of the dice for the entire day and just compacted into my one game.
Yeah.
It's the way to do it.
There was a lot of bashy teams: Chaos Dwarves, Chaos, Orcs. But there were some edge teams. There was Skaven, Human, which isn't really an edge team, but just average. Dark Elves, and one of the Skaven teams did really well. I think they got second place.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because they were just outscoring everyone. All these bashy teams are so slow that if you're Skaven and there's really no one to stop you, you can just fucking run away with it. literally, because you're like move 11.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what Ann was saying though. Is had I actually had the Wood Elf teams, it's like I would have won probably all the games.
Yeah.
I just only have my 2 war dancers.
Like a
left.
war dancer and a catcher.
Yeah.
But you'd win 4-0.
Exactly.
And
Until that fucking rock takes out my war dancer.
yeah. And I think Ant got one of the highest scores I've ever seen in a Blood Bowl game. I think he won 6-0 in his game. He was also playing the inevitable winner of the Jeffy, which is the last place award. So yeah.
Rough.
Overall, I thought it had like a really cool rule set, and it was more original than just your standard tournament lineup.
Okay.
But that made it lean heavier on like I want like a lot of bashy teams and certain setups like Paul's broken ass like claw palm
Yeah.
shit. So
Are you guys gonna keep that for?
I don't know. I mean, Corpse is going to probably be a rotation. I'm not sure what's going to get refined from it.
Okay.
But I enjoy the casualty focused tournaments.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right on. Nice.
That was Blood Bowl Corpse 2019.
That wraps up the bloody hour.
Last 15 minutes.
Yeah.
It wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
Is there a Kingdom Death hour this week?
If only.
No, I did build the Gigalion and all the vignette models that came with it, and they're all
Okay.
really cool.
Yeah.
Do you guys have, when do you play again?
After Labor Day.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Right on. Then that wraps up what we've been playing. And sorry, for no Kingdom Death this week. You'll have to survive.
I mean, we made sure to do something that involved a lot of killing at least, right?
Yes.
True.
So,
Lots of smash and death.
a lot of dice being in and not in your favor.
Yeah.
Lot of dicey bullshit.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, that brings us, I think, over to some news and Kickstarters. First up in news.
Yes. First up in news this week, Orleans has a new, I don't know, expansion?
No, it's sort of like a re-implementation of it.
Okay. It's a new thing. It's called Orleans Stories.
Yes. So Orleans Stories is 2 to 4 players, just like Orleans. Artwork by Clemens Franz and 60 to 180 minutes. But there will be different game end conditions depending on which one you end up doing. It's still based on the bag building, but it's been further developed into more of a storytelling experience.
Oh God.
It's going downhill.
Jeff.
Can one of you guys be the
Yeah,
audio?
Jeff.
Yeah, I can't do the things this week. Sorry.
News and Kickstarters, your fucking segment anyway, Jeff.
Yeah, totally. So it's based on the bag building from Orleans. Have any of you played Orleans?
Yes.
I still have not. No.
What is the bag building mechanism in there?
So it's basically you have tokens that you're pulling out of a bag, and they let you do actions, and you can buy more tokens. It's like deck building, but with a bag and tokens instead of a deck cards.
Okay. Do you put the cards in the bag as well?
Yeah.
It's a bag card
Yeah.
drawing. So it includes 2 stories: the First Kingdom and the King's Favor. It spans 8 eras in the First Kingdom that will have different conditions and emphases.
Nice.
The King's Favor is shorter and is more an intro. It'll only have 5 eras.
Yeah, it's basically
Like each of the eras has different like parameters of play and things like that.
it's a story campaign version of it.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed my first play.
Yeah,
like Altiplano has that same thing, but I've heard that one is more multiplayer solitaire.
Yeah, that's kind of what I've heard.
But Orleans has the co-op expansion too that I've heard good things about.
Okay.
So, and Paul has it. So
Yeah. It'll be It'll be debuting at Origin or at
Spiel.
Essen. Yeah. And it'll be €70 at Essen. It's a €75 MSRP on the base game.
Pre-orders live, but it looks like TMG will make the game available in North America.
that sounds right.
Yep, I could see that.
If only it was a deluxeified edition.
If only.
I'm
Usually they're pretty decent component
No,
quality,
yeah,
just
I just-
in general.
from what I've heard, the deluxeified edition of Orleans was.
Oh, okay.
And
I don't know. Probably
I've
won't
seen
be
it.
one.
It looks nice. I've not played it, though.
it's for Yokohama.
Yeah.
True that. That'd be a good one for a stream.
Put it on the list.
We
Yeah.
could fit it on the staple probably pretty nice.
Yes, we could.
Next up in news, The Pandemic Survival series is
No more.
no more-ish. And all of their games based on the Survival series are spinning off to not be about the location that the Survival series is at. So unfortunately, no Canadian-based Pandemic.
Which someone said about a maple
Syrup shortage.
Yeah, which would have been great for that. But yeah, that was Pandemic Iberia, Rising Tide, and Fall of Rome.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, the next one is in Canada, but no Canadian-themed version. They also said that all of the limited editions that these games are no longer limited editions, and we'll see reprints and publishing in mass. So you won't have to grab them up before they're gone.
Yeah, which is good because like
Iberia is probably the best version of Pandemic there is.
I mean, honestly, like I've enjoyed all three of the ones that have come out. So
yeah, they've all been real good. Cthulhu, fucking.
Did
if
they?
It's not Arkham Files, it can go fuck itself. Cthulhu, like Cthulhu, that's not Arkham Files, can just go fuck itself.
I will say I did sort of enjoy the Cthulhu Death May Die, but they specifically made it to not be any related to the mythos. They had Rob Daviau write it. So Eric Ling did that.
And then there's, I guess they said the branding was the Survivor series on them, and now it's just called Pandemic System. So they're not going to have that branding on them anymore.
That's because especially Rising Tide and they're not.
Yeah,
they were pandemic adjacent, but not.
It didn't even really feel like a survival thing.
Exactly. So I think that's a smart move to change it to pandemics.
I agree.
Yeah.
So I wonder what their next thing's going to be, because it's not Canadian.
I will agree though that Death May Die.
Yeah,
but it's also in a quote from a Cthulhu. I actually read it today in Mansions of Madness.
Oh, yeah. This is something like, and if you do things right, even death may die.
I mean, not something you could do, but like in the right circumstances.
Gotcha.
Next up in news, Hasbro has announced plans to reduce plastic packaging in toys and games by 2022. So just 2 or 3 years out here.
And I don't want people to get their hopes up. They're not getting away from plastic components.
No, definitely plastic packaging. So all new products. So all their brands, Nerf, Monopoly, Magic the Gathering, they're phasing it out. Beginning next year, they'll start to get rid of elastic bands, shrink wrap, window sheets, etc. And then they'll remove most or all plastic packaging in new products by the end of 2022. I guess they've been trying to do this since 2010 when they started using wire ties to stabilize products.
I thought they stopped using wire ties.
Stopped using wire ties, yeah.
These things, right?
Little twist tie type things. So yeah, that's probably good. They probably have a lot of plastic waste in general, just from their stuff.
Yes.
So
I couldn't.
I remember. Imagine. Yeah, I remember the plastic stuff in like the Nerf.
Yeah, you would have just a million of those twist ties.
Yep.
And etc. So that's good.
Sure.
Next up on news, Monopoly Socialism. I have no idea what this is, but I have heard some kerfuffle around it.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I know, I'm fucking dying over here. So it's a parody edition of Monopoly.
Because they did a decent amount of parody, but I feel like this wasn't even part of that. Like there was like not sorry or sorry not sorry. And then
well, they did a whole range of things like that.
A Monopoly for Millennials was the last.
That's what it was.
But they've done other like actual parody versions of Monopoly that have all been objectively terrible.
Yeah.
Like there was right here actually. There's a really good Twitter thread that goes through like some of the game mechanics and stuff and how like none of it is socialism. None of it remotely seems like socialism.
When you pass go, you get $50 instead of $200 because socialism is worse.
Yeah. And like there's other times when like things that socialism would pay for, you take money from the collective or like people pay. The Twitter thread that is in the article that will be in the show notes has more about like how the mechanics of this game just don't even remotely line up with anything that could be. So it doesn't come across as a parody of socialism. or like taking the piss out of socialism. It just comes across as like, oh, wouldn't it be fun to make something that seems to make fun of socialism and just uses a bunch of bad tropes or something? Yeah. I mean,
because you're taxing and putting into the bank, which keeps it, which isn't socialism.
Yeah, it takes it out of the economy
Yeah.
and not putting it into the group pile in the middle and things like that. Like, there's a lot of things that just take money out of the game for no fucking reason. And all of them are like, because of socialism.
Yeah.
Like, implying that socialism just makes money fucking vanish.
Yeah.
It's not quite how it works. So, it's stupid. It spawned a bunch of arguments all over the place.
Yes.
I've been involved in multiple ones. Well, tangentially involved, mostly just being a smartass. I got a lot of likes on Facebook for
you posted on Facebook?
I didn't post this on
Okay.
Facebook. I commented on somebody's post in the board game group on Facebook that the people who like Monopoly Socialism and don't the Venn diagram of people who like Monopoly Socialism and don't understand socialism is a circle. So,
Yeah.
It's garbage, I'm sure. But
And that's
there
it
you
for
go.
news.
That's it for news. Slow news week when we're talking about Monopoly Socialism.
Next up is Kickstarters. First up in Kickstarters this week is Half Truth. Very well funded. $100,000 of its $10,000 goal. 3,300 backers. Over 3 weeks left to pledge this one, which will cost you $30. This game looks cool. It's from Richard Garfield and Ken Jennings with art by.
Ian O'Toole.
Yep.
There you go.
Did it
Just-
actually say it there? Or did
No,
you
it
just-
didn't
yeah.
say.
All right.
It took me that long to think of it.
Technically, you can't.
Oh,
It is
yeah,
technically
I
at
guess
the
it
bottom.
does. It says
Yeah.
right down here.
But it's sort of a party game. Well, it's a party game.
no kind of.
No, kind of. Richard Garfield has done things like
Magic.
King
of Tokyo.
Yeah.
Netrunner.
Yep.
Other games.
Yes. And Ken Jennings has won a lot of games of Jeopardy.
Yeah. He was the Jeopardy guy until that recent Jeopardy guy.
That guy didn't break his record, though, did he?
By one game's worth of value, actually.
In terms of like total amount of money, but like the amount of money he was winning per.
His average was way up.
Yes.
He did it way faster than Ken
Yes.
Jennings did. So they decided to make a party game called Half Truth.
That has supposedly taken 13 years for them to make.
Well, it was evolving over 13 years.
So there will be a question with 6 answers. Half are correct, half are false. And you place bets on the 3 answers that you feel most confident about. For every correct answer, you gain victory points. After 3 rounds, whoever has the most victory points wins. And it's cards like animals with blue tongues. And it will have things like giraffe. And that's the only one I can think of off the top of my head.
Because it does.
Yeah.
Or like the one here that I have pulled up on the
Twitch.
image
Stream.
here, Twitch image, is on Route 66. New York, Oklahoma, Nevada, Texas, Illinois, Michigan. And only 3 of those are accurate.
Yep.
Which I'm pretty sure it's Oklahoma, Nevada. No, I don't think Nevada is. I think it swings too far south. Oklahoma, Illinois, and New York? Texas, maybe?
Texas.
Is Texas?
Yeah.
I don't know
You
where
could-
Route. I don't know where it
I
counts down.
looked it up earlier. The new, good old New York Route 66.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
but-
can also see the other one there that has the answers on the backside. Is a
Music-
music video set in Paris, but I can't see what the songs are. So
That would be Beautiful Day from U2, Started from the Bottom by Drake, Heart of Glass by Blondie, Someone Like You by Adele, Nothing Compares to You by Sinead O'Connor, and Rhythm Nation by Janet Jackson.
Nice.
Well,
The
there you
answers
go.
are there, and I would have no idea in any way, shape, or form. And it's U2, Adele, and Sinead O'Connor.
It reminds me a bit of Wits and Wagers on.
Yeah. Yeah, it just seems like a nice, light,
Yes, definitely.
Party game.
Definitely.
Yep.
probably not a lot of meat there, but for
No.
the masses that would
Basi-
enjoy really good party games, this
Yeah,
is...
you can see, like, with that one page right there, that's the game. Like,
Yeah.
that's the entire game.
Route 66
There
or
you go.
music videos set in Paris.
Yeah.
It seems neat. It's only $30.
Yeah.
You can get a signed copy with Ken Jennings and Richard Garfield's signatures on the box if you want to pay, let's see, $150.
Oh wow!
So So is it $60 for each of their signatures, or is it like $10 for Richard Garfield and then $100?
But it will have more than 500 question cards on there, so
Okay,
you
that's
probably won't get tired of them too fast.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that'd be the problem. One of the problems with those is like once you
Yeah. Assuming you remember it.
But 500 it can
Indeed.
Next up in Kickstarters is, sadly, Evil Dead 2, the board game. Not even close to funded. $52,000 of its $195,000 goal. 1,085 suckers. And 2 weeks left to go on this campaign, which you can pledge $59
Well,
for.
isn't this to try and actually bring it because it went through that whole
So
thing?
this game existed before and then failed, and then this is another people trying to make it again, and then they also want to get enough money to give everyone from the previous campaign a copy for free, which is why their goal is $195,000.
Yes.
Everything about this is bad.
Well, I mean, there's a reason it failed.
Yeah, so this is from Jasco Games now. They did Cowboy Bebop, the board game, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the board game, and My Hero Academia, the collectible card game.
Yeah.
I guess they would have gotten... This looks similar to the previous one. I guess they would have gotten the material from...
No, they did. They're trying to just, like, they got the remnants of that game, and they're trying to get it for more people, but also get it to the people who it just collapsed on them. So
they do say it is an entirely new game designed by Linvander Studios.
Okay.
Directed and tested heavily by Jasco Games and our playtesters.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
I mean, I appreciate the idea. Good to try and help. Because that's what they did with, like, the Doom came to Atlantic City.
Yeah.
Like, some people had done that. So this definitely isn't the first instance.
Yeah. I don't know. It's got a bunch of hidden items on the board. You battle. You can turn into a bad guy and fight your friends. You have to seal portals or open them and save the world. It takes place in the cabin that you're familiar with from all of the Evil Dead games. There's going to be 46 minis. The box looks cool. It's got the sweet Necronomicon on the cover.
Yeah.
I think that box looks awful.
I mean, it depends on your appreciation of that type of stuff, because it is just straight up the Necronomicon.
Yep.
Which is very core to the world of
a
Evil
bit,
Dead.
I mean, I still feel like it's not a very good example of it.
Yeah, I'm sure it would be changed slightly if this game would ever have come out, which it probably won't. But yeah, there's just one pledge, $59.
I really like the gifts they have here. Like, that's
Yeah.
battling your former friends.
Oh,
just,
man.
just smooshing minis together in a red light.
Smoosh together. Now smoosh.
So yeah,
I feel like these gifts are supposed to be dramatic, but
they aren't
They
at
are
all.
we've still got a couple weeks on this one, but I doubt it will fulfill.
I agree.
And yeah.
Sorry for the people who
lost a bunch
lost
of money.
on the other one, but at the same time, I mean, that's kind of why you do your due diligence on what you back.
Yeah,
I mean, you try to, but something.
True.
Like not pledging for the constantly delayed Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah.
Next up on Kickstarters is Merchant's Cove. Merchant's Cove is very well funded, $256,000 of its $40,000 goal. Just under 3,000 backers and 2 weeks left to go. And you can pledge this one at its most popular pledge level for $110.
That's a big pledge.
Yes, it is.
Normally $80.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is a game with a whole bunch. It's asymmetric, and you're all your asymmetric roles are different adventurer shops. There's the blacksmith. There's the potion maker. There is the sea captain, which gets like food and adventure and stuff like that. And then the chronomancer. But each one of these has a bunch of different asymmetric shop mechanics. So the potion master has engine building, and you're trying to put the right colored orbs in from your decanter to make them into potions, which you will then sell to the NPC adventurers. The blacksmith is dice placement, dice manipulation, and pool building. And he's trying to put the right colors with the right numbers to turn into swords and helmets. The sea captain is like uses a spinner, but it has like unit movement, exploration, and push your luck, which you're trying to get like treasures and food and things like that. And then the Chronomancer and Wiz the Gray, great name, Wiz Gray the Chronomancer, and Humpty McHalf. That's basically Back to the Future is what it is, which is
nice, yeah.
Tile sliding, rondelle movement, and time track manipulation.
That's a lot of different shit going on.
Yeah,
A whole lot of shit.
but they all seem fairly simple. They're not going to be as deep or as mechanically driven as something like Crystal Caverns is vast or anything is going to be, because you're just sort of running your one thing and you don't really have to worry about other stuff. Where the interaction between players comes in is how much time you're using to try and get adventurers to come and get into your shop versus how much time you're actually spending building items for those adventurers. So if you're getting out there and trying to get a bunch of people, but then you're not going to have enough time to make much for them.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
So it's like a time management game, which is kind of what you go back and forth on. What a lot of that big $110 one is expansions. There's going to be a tavern keeper that has different beds and stuff. And then there is a Oracle, which is going to have, they don't really go into too much detail, but it looks like
stuff.
Yeah, it has like a, I don't know, it looks like a roll and write is what it looks like.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah, you're playing a roll and write. Yeah, I mean, the art looks cool and it seems like a very well produced game.
I mean, assuming everything looks like showing on here,
Yeah.
I would say well produced, but I could definitely, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just one of those things where you're like, oh,
This has a lot going on.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It could be overstuffed.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, the first thing I thought was like, oh God, it's just going to be vast. And as soon as we have to sit down and teach someone how to play something else. But it seems like they're much smaller chunks.
That's good.
Yeah.
Did you say it was competitive or?
Yes, it is competitive. Yep. Yeah. That's Merchant Cove.
Yeah, it seems to be neat. And that's it for Kickstarter.
That is indeed it for Kickstarter. That wraps up news and Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Which brings us over to Jeff's favorite part of the show, listener feedback. Starting with
Emails at milehighgameguys.com. This first one is from Brenton, titled The Session. Hi, gents. Good day, all the way from Adelaide, South Australia. I'm relatively new to modern board games and even newer to your excellent podcast, just moving into the 80s episode-wise, so you're about halfway there.
Yeah.
Somewhere during the 70s, you asked for listeners to contribute good sessions that they had, so here goes. A group of us traveled to the Bedshed Brewing, a local craft brewer here in Adelaide. Adelaide, yes, I am saying that correctly. We started out with the American Pale Ale. As part of the rest of the world, we are reticent to admit that America does anything when America does anything well, but god damn it, craft brewing is an area the U.S. excels. Aha! This beer is a brilliant example of that beer staple. A great way to start. Next up was the Californicator, an IPA. Again, excellent by every measure of the word. Deciding to darken the mood, we opted for the Frankenbrown Brown Ale, the brewery's first beer. It is good, not excellent, but the first two...
Like the first two, but eminently
quaffable. Continuing to the journey to the dark side of the taste bud party really fired up. The Golden Stout Time was an amazing beer. It's based on an ice cream from the 1970s and 80s called the Golden Gay Time. Yes, I have typed that correctly. These flavors come through in a beer and intensify as the beer warms. Beer of the night.
Good to hear that a stout was the beer of the night.
Yeah. We then went for the Tim Tam Slam Coffee Stout. Tim Tams are great. Have you guys had Tim Tams?
I think so.
They're kind of like, they're more around Easter here.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever actually had them.
Yeah, Tim Tams are great. I assume that you are aware of the Aussie chocolate biscuit called a Tim Tam. It is a popular...
Biscuit's like a cookie.
Yes, yeah.
Just to clarify.
Yes. It is popular to bite off opposite corners of the biscuit lengthwise and then use it as a straw, sucking up your coffee. The idea of this beer is to do the same with a stout. Didn't quite work for me. Cold liquid versus a hot one, but an enjoyable sup nonetheless. We ended up the night with a smiling Samoyed Brewing Shamuti stout. This orange stout was a damn fine way to end up. Oh, and we played a couple games of The Mind. Surprisingly, we didn't win. All in all, though, a brilliant session. Keep up the good work. Who knows? I may even listen to this in about 3 months. Regardless, Brenton. Yes.
Regards.
Regards.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you for sending us your drinking session.
Yeah.
It was very informative of the wide world of Australian drinking that's not
Because I didn't know any of those. So
Foster's,
yeah.
big cans. It's Australian for beer.
That's Australian for suck is what I've heard.
Yeah,
most people
that's
say.
also correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Australian for garbage.
Real fucking shit, mate.
Yeah.
Next up is Lance, working for Japanese company. Adrian, I recommend watching the excellent documentary Gung Ho for a realistic insight into working for a Japanese company. To provide a small board game angle, might this have provided the inspiration for Vital Lacerda to create Kanban? We might not know because we haven't seen that documentary.
Yeah, I don't know. We have like a rolling crate thing in one of our like warehouses that has a big sign that says Kanban only. So I don't know what Kanban actually means in like businessy terms, but
Isn't that what their process is called?
I think it's a type of So it's like because like we
Shrug
also
harder, Jeff.
because we also have like a 5S rack,
Yeah.
and that's all about like 5S, like everything in its place, a place for everything and everything in its place, kind of shit. So
Last up on emails, we have one from Derek titled "Thanks, fellas."
it's not last up because we just got one in mid email.
Okay. Last up that I knew about. Thanks, fellas. Thanks for including me in the podcast. You probably saved me at least $60 with your Blood Bowl advice. This was from last week's Banter episode where we went over all of his wanting to get into Blood Bowl purchases.
And Anne even chimed in on chat as we read the email.
Yes. I started by ordering the Halfling team and Spike issue 5 to see what I need to make up a Halfling roster. I will end up buying the base game, I'm sure, but I'm going to play with my buddy to see if I like it. If all else fails, I have a bunch of Assling miniatures. I took a look at Black Scorpion and found some relatively cheap treemen to add to my guys as well. Now to dig into online rules and explore what I'm about to dive into. Keep up the good work and keep those Blood Bowl updates coming. Jealous of your friendly local game store league.
This episode should please him then.
Yes. Cocopelli was a great place to have the tournament at.
Yeah,
It was food, drink, full bar.
Great for mini games, I think.
Yes, Cocopelli would be a great place to play board games at.
Yeah.
Yeah, too bad they're real shit at responding to emails.
Derek. P.S. I just played Australia for the first time, and I liked it 5 times more than I liked Brass. I guess I just don't understand the love for Brass. I like Brass, but I also do want to try Australia.
I do want to try that too.
Yeah.
I'd give it a shot. I've heard good things. I like Martin Wallace stuff, usually.
Last email from Ofer called Dear Adrian. Dear Adrian. Deer as in the animal, by the way. Thanks for adding a new way for me to enjoy MHGG. This new Twitch stream thing is a great new way to make fun of the gang. Ofer.
Yeah.
And by the gang, he means me.
And what's great too is that you get instant, like you'll get to see Adrian read it and then the face that he makes when he reads it.
Yes.
It is. There's been multiple times where he's like, I saw that smirk, Adrian. I know who that glares for.
Yeah. You have to watch a little bit of his soul die every day.
Yeah. See, that's our favorite part.
Yeah.
Seriously.
You guys get to
I did something nice
join
and
in.
I put up the freaking ladder for these people. You know, I know what people want to see on this show. And instead they mocked me.
Yeah. And that's it for emails at milehighgameguys.com.
Which is the extent of listener feedback. Do we have any BGG stuff, Zach?
No.
Great. Anyway, that's it for listener feedback. If you want to get a hold of us, there are multiple ways you can do so. You can send us emails.
Emails at milehighgameguys.com.
You can follow us over on Twitter, where I tweet under @MHGameGuys.
I am Zach_MHGG.
I am Jeff_MHGG.
You can also find us over on Facebook and Instagram, both /MileHighGameGuys. If you want to see us interact with chat and catch some of the things that get edited out of the released podcast episode, you could follow us over on twitch.tv/MHGameGuys. We also have our Board Game Geek Guild number 2731. And we have our website, milehighgameguys.com, with links to our Slack channel that is full of all kinds of awesome people, also Ofer and Boyd. And there is also our Patreon if you want to support the show, which lets us do awesome things like the stream. All of the equipment and camera and everything that is in here that is doing all of this.
Shower curtains.
That camera, and that camera, and that camera.
Yep.
And that ladder.
And all these shower curtains.
And all the shower curtains.
And those lights.
The ladder was mine. I paid for the ladder myself.
These chairs that we're sitting in.
The shower curtains.
Not this chair.
No, not that chair.
All of it. Thanks to...
Do you just have the ladder in the shot up there right now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, lots of ways to support the show over there on patreon.com/milehighgameguys.
We should probably shoot a new thanks for giving us money video.
We should.
Because that was in like 2 studios before.
Oh, yeah.
I think.
Yeah, we need to update that.
Yeah. I was thinking about that the other day.
We could probably even update the actual, like, hey, you want to support the show one, too. We've got a nice studio where we can do audio and video.
Yeah.
So, also, be sure to keep an eye out starting next week. Well, I guess if you're listening to this on the podcast, starting this week, we are doing actual board game streams on the Twitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just so happened to line up that our Q&A episode was right when we set up the studio.
Yes.
So. And we really like doing the Q&A episodes.
Yes, we do.
Right, they're a lot of fun. And it lends itself well to doing a stream and interacting with
A
chat.
whole bunch of bullshit.
And then we will be on Labor Day. On Labor Day, we are going to be doing a longer stream, the exact starting time to be announced, but we're going to be doing a Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones with
Yeah.
Mother of Dragons.
With Mother of
and
Dragons
the
expansion.
Playmat.
Yep. So we'll have all of that fancy up on the stream ready to go on Monday the 2nd for Labor Day. And then that Friday, the 5th, I believe, something like that.
Let's say the 6th.
The
6th sounds
6th.
better, yeah.
Friday the 6th, I'm being told, we'll be doing Terraforming Mars live stream.
Yeah.
Hopefully with even Megan coming and joining on that one. She'll kick all of our asses live on the stream.
You'll see just how last place I can be.
You'll see how destroyed I look if someone takes pets away from me.
Yeah. So all of those things coming.
We'll get some board games on this board game streaming podcast
We'll
now.
actually use the big camera that's up overhead that
The
we
one you
spent
can't
all the
see.
money on.
Yes. It looks expensive.
It was like half of the budget of the new studio is
yes.
that camera.
Yeah.
So
That's why we couldn't afford the get unwrinkled curtains.
Exactly. Yeah. We got to save up enough that I can buy a standing steamer to
Rent
smooth those.
a standing
Hey, you
steamer.
can rent one. Go to Stanley Steamer and be like, Stan.
Also,
Yeah.
literally Target does sell them.
That's very true, yes.
So
Use your discount, Jeff. Do you
I can
still
get you 5% off.
Boom.
you still get your discount?
No, that's
Oh.
just the red card
Yeah.
discount.
Oh, gotcha. Anyway, that's all the upcoming stuff over there on the Twitch channel, and that stuff will be getting ported over to YouTube. Some of it should be over there already by the time you're listening to this on the podcast. So there you go. All kinds of awesome stuff coming in the new studio. So, think that pretty much wraps it up. As always, we want to thank our awesome sponsors, Gray Fox Games, for sponsoring our Wednesday podcast episodes. Their latest game, Reavers of Midgard, is delivering to backers now. They released some copies at Gen Con. It's out. It's getting played. People seem to be liking it from what little bits I've seen.
Yeah.
And then they are...
They have a relaunching Kickstarter after the Empire on, I believe, September 3rd.
September 3rd.
Yeah.
So,
And some previews and stuff are getting out there. I saw Board Game Gumbo doing a preview play. I saw some pictures on Twitter of him in the midst of playing a game. So
Awesome.
they'll probably have
Nice.
some video content for that one coming up soon.
Yes.
Member
Yes,
of
indeed.
Punchboard Media.
Yep.
Yeah. Just like us.
Just like us. So, Jeff, do you have your prepared statement?
Gray Fox Games, quality games, cleverly crafted. Also, find something to believe in and find it for yourself. When you do, Pass it on to the future.
Oddly inspirational.
Believe in what? That's your problem.
Yeah, that's everything. So thanks everybody for tuning in. As always, I've been your host, Adrian.
I am still Zach.
And I'm Bloodied Jeff.
Bye.
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 We can interact with chat for a bit. Have you considered making the logo smaller? No, Ofer. We want it to be 2/3 of the entire screen.
It's a banner.
Yeah, if we had other things to put up there, maybe.
We could have Adrian bigger, but
I mean, I'm fine with that.
yeah.
Can we green screen? No, I'm not. I'm going to stop interacting with anything he says about beard thing.
Let's interact with chat. All right, I'm not going to interact with chat anymore.
Sir.
Interaction complete.
Punchboard Media, where we all
Bring something
to the table.
pull up a chair at punchboardmedia.com.